Hi there, this is a quick tutorial on how to create a slide master where the background's not movable in your Google Slides. So the first thing you're going to do is notice that when I click this down arrow here, you're going to see one that I've already created is here. There's a grouping of suggested slides that they have here that we can modify and create our own master. So if I were to click this slide again, what you'll notice is that when I click on that, it's going to enter it into my presentation. And it's just a duplicate of this slide that you can see right now. That's not what I want to do. What I want to do is show you how I would create a new one or modify this one. So to modify the one that I have, first you go to View, Master, and the way I remember that is the View Masters that we had as kids. And what you can do here is that you notice that there's a gray border around it. When you're in this, you're in design mode. And while you can see this slide that's on your screen here, this is not going to put this slide over here until you do the drop-down menu. If at this point I can adjust and design this slide any way I want, and once I'm finished I'm going to click the X, and then it will be available for me without the backgrounds being movable. If you had a photograph that you wanted stationary without the kids being able to move it, you can import that, like a map or something that you want them to make a diagram of. That would be great. Now to make a new one, you're going to take one of these blank ones over here on the side, and what you're going to do is simply take this, you're going to highlight, I usually lasso these, and I delete it. So I have a blank slate. Now you can insert pictures, graphics, design like you normally would design in Google Slides, and it will appear right here. Now, if you wanted to do the text boxes like I did, that's a little bit tricky, but let me tell you why it's a little tricky. When you go to text box, you go right here normally, but if you go down here to title placeholder, you're going to be able to have a title put in there. Now what shows up here is not going to be what shows up on the master, so I have that right there. I'd like to put a little bit of a border around them so that I can manipulate and move them. I can change that border and make it transparent if I wanted to at the end of the design. So another one that I used for all those boxes where the kids text or type their words is the body text placeholder. This one gets a little confusing because watch what happens. Now when I put my text holder there, it tells me what level. So like if I had a couple of things on the design, do I want the text to appear on the top or in the back? Well, normally it's in the front, so I use first level, and make sure that there's a border on it so that you can see it to move it. Now I want to add another one of these text boxes. Now you cannot get rid of these gray words. They're there permanently, and that's the tricky part because you have to kind of design with that there already. So if I did another one and I went to body text holder and I go down here and I dropped it in there, you're going to notice that it continued to use the border because I've selected that earlier, and you're going to get another set of these words. Well, here's a little trick that I used for creating the first slide is that I did what they call a lasso. So I grouped this in a lasso here, and then I hit Control C to copy it and Control V to paste it. Takes a second to process. Once it's processed, I don't use my mouse to grab it because I find that if I use the down arrow and the side to side arrow, I have a little bit better control over it, because if I accidentally click off of it, I'll lose those two identical. If I click out here on the screen, you'll see I lose that. If you do, just hit Control and click on the second box, and then you'll be able to move them together again. But as you can see, because of all of the gray text, it gets kind of cluttery. So you have to get used to not seeing that. When I first started working with this, I was always trying to delete the gray text, not realizing I couldn't. So you can't delete it. It's just there. You have to design with it there. Once you are finished, you click out of it, and what you'll notice is that it doesn't appear here. It's not going to. Where it will appear is in here. And as you can see, I have it right here. So I can click on this, and then you can see how clean it is. Click to add title, all the extra gray is gone. But this is how it appears. Now, if you made a mistake on this slide, or you wanted this box to be bigger, all you need to do is go back into View and Master. You're there at that slide. You click on the box that you wanted to change the size of. It's going to take a moment to load up. And then watch this box over here, what happens when I resize this one. If I resize this box over here like this, you're going to see instantly this changes. So every slide that has been duplicated, like if you had 5 of these slides down here, all 5 of them would change this box at the same time because it's your master if the kids have inserted it. So once I'm finished, I go here like this. And as you can see, this master's changed if I add it here. And got right there. So you can see it's duplicated. And just to show that one more time, if I go to View Master, and I'm going to go to this one, I'm going to modify it. I'm going to insert a graphic. When I insert the graphic, it's going to place itself on both of the slides over here because they're actually the same master. Just put a quick one in here for you. Now watch these 2 masters over here as it processes. You'll see it popped up on both of them because technically these are the same. So if you made a mistake or if you want to make a change, it'll change all of them at the same time for you if you have multiples of these. So keep that in mind as you're designing. Hope that helps.